Okay, so maybe you are too hyped to read the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy by Kerri Maniscalco because you've been seeing the third book which just came out everywhere, but there is still one question that lingers in your mind, that if the series is worth the hype. So, your girl over here has got you covered. I will give you some totally spoiler free facts before you jump into this trilogy and save you from a potentially coming book slump. Oops. Forget I said anything and let's get started with the video. So the first book in the series is called The Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. Now, personally, not a fan of the cover, but let's talk about this plot. So there is Emilia and there is Vittoria. They both are twins and witches, and in this world the witches are getting murdered, and so does Vittoria. So Emilia sets on a mission to find Vittoria's killer, even at the cost of using dark magic, and this is how she meets Wrath, who is a prince of hell and very hot. So he claims to be on her side, but you know, with the wicked we can tell. So that is the whole gist of the story. Wrath and Emilia's banter was so fun in this book, even though the world building was not a very good job by the author. Also, there is too much description of the things that are around you that you care less and less about the murders and everything along the way. So that was really icky about this book. There was no flow to it, and Emilia's and Vittoria's bond was not developed so much in the initial starting that I didn't care about her being murdered at all, because the relationship wasn't as developed as it should have been. So that was a minus point as well. Still, the reveal of the killer was so unexpected. It was the most interesting part about this book. And in totality, I would like to say that although the plot was going here and there, but the spooky chills and Emilia and Wrath's swoony romantic build-up was something that made me give it a 4.5 star. Moving on to the second book in the series, which is called The Kingdom of the Cursed. Now, this cover, I am in awe. I really love this blue, and let's talk about the book. Okay, so the story starts at that point where there are still some secrets to uncover, and Emilia is tough on that. The romance between Emilia and Wrath does develop a little in this book, but you still don't know. They just feel too lusty in this book, and even though Wrath has some caring scenes for Emilia in the starting, but you still are not definite about their relationship. Emilia is constantly questioning her feelings. Wrath, his intent is not clear. So I didn't know if I should, invest my feelings into these characters or not. And now is the time that I finally tell you that this book got me in the worst slump ever. It's been 2 weeks that I'm unable to read anything. It is the longest book in the trilogy, which sucks because there is no end in sight. This thing between Emilia and Wrath goes on. She is going to this place, and there is just so much description about where she is, how she sits, and what she is wearing, that you lose interest in the plot, and you can't just go on reading a story without plot, without interesting characters and everything. So that made me less and less invested in this book, and more not wanting to read anything. This book just drags on and doesn't move forward, which is so far being just a slow burn, being just a big book. Even if the characters or the world building or funny moments, romantic moments are good in a book, I still will keep on reading it for the fact that I am getting something out of it, some kind of entertainment or some kind of distraction out of my ordinary life. So this book didn't do any justice to everything. It was just the cover that I was attracted to, and I was reading it online only, but this book was so bad that I didn't even want to purchase a copy. That's why I don't have it handy.
So the descriptive explanation and too much inner dialogue just got me off this book, and I have read only half of it to tell you anything. It was not for me, and I don't know if I will pick it up again because now is not the time. I'm not even feeling it right now to put my focus on a thing I don't care about.
That brings me to the third book in the series, which is The Kingdom of the Feared. Now, this book is released just yet, and I love the cover. It is this pretty pink, and about the story, yes, I can't tell because I haven't read, but I have read some really disappointed reviews regarding it. People are just talking about how this book is only having Wrath and Emilia's scenes in it, and there is not much plot going on. It's a long, smutty book, which makes me even more skeptical to continue this series. Even if I read the second book, I will still be thinking about how bad the third one is going to be, because people who loved it didn't like the third book. So what about people who consider the second book just okay? All in all, the first book, I can say you can definitely pick it up, but if you're like me, you will want to continue reading it, because I can't just leave a series alone. I have to complete it, or at least get to a point that I hate it so much that I will never pick it up. I mostly gave the first book so much rating because it was a first book that I read about witches, and some things about that topic was really cool, but then this whole lot of story which could have been better. I promise I'm not complaining, I'm just giving you my honest thoughts. It could have been written so much better, but anyways, the covers are gorgeous. The new cover is so gorgeous. So these were my thoughts on the Kingdom of the Wicked series, or I should say part of the series that I read. I hope you guys were helped in deciding if you want to read this series or not. Alright, I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, goodbye.